God of War 2. Disco bônus. Spoilers. Sistema de combate.
Usually in the very beginning of how we go about building the game and the creatures, me and Corey and Eric and the rest of us on the combat team will sit down and we'll say, oh, we need these kind of creatures, or, in mythology there was this, what if we took that but kind of put a spin on it so that it behaved this way? And then we'll sit down with the concept artist and we're like, oh, okay, we got this idea, here's these things that we want to get out of the creature. And then the concept artist will come back with like 20 or 30 different ideas, and they're an amazing team. And they'll be like, okay, here's a whole bunch of ideas, what sticks, kind of like the shotgun approach. And we'll go through, we're like, oh, I wasn't thinking that, but I wasn't thinking this either, and that will really work.
The simplicity of this one, but the sort of the personality in the face of this one, getting across that. But I mean, I love the skinniness of this guy.
And then from there, we'll sit down with kind of the animators and the character modelers. And we'll go, okay, here's the personality, here's what we kind of want to get from it. And then we usually try to keep everyone in the loop so that when everyone else is working on their sort of set of creatures, they know what we're doing over here. So that way we don't have too much overlap.
Most of the combat design that myself and the other combat designers do is on the enemy side or the boss's sides. So we come up how the enemy is going to fight Kratos and his unique attributes and his style and what he's going to do. We also come up with like the little tricks or the strategy that you're going to use against this enemy. And then from there, we come up with the animation lists, and we work with the animator, and we go back and forth deciding like how's this guy going to attack, how fast he's going to attack, what types of blocks he's going to use, or whatever strategy it might be. From there, then we go into the code and we start building the character out, get him into the level, get him running, and play around with him, have him fight Kratos, trying to come up with the coolest way to kill him off. From there, it's just revisions over and over. The trick with this guy is he's covering up a little pressure plate. And what you'll need to do is just attack one of his tentacles till he gets stunned. He's going to lift up his tentacle. And now you're going to use that last Spartan, you're going to use his body to hold that pressure plate down. What that does is opens up a vent. This is where the Phoenix came from. Now you can use your Icarus wings to fly up in the air, but you got to be careful the Kraken hitting you down. So you want to use the Icarus wings to fly up, and then you'll get high enough where you can hit the Kraken in the head, and that's where he's actually vulnerable. One of the initial goals that we wanted was to create a puzzle-like boss fight, so it's not just hacking away and beating up somebody and avoiding their attacks. It's not just simple hack and slash.
Kratos is interacting with the sisters throughout the whole game. You see them as statues, you see them in little sequences. So we knew that when Kratos actually gets up to them and has to fight them, that we wanted to make it a kind of a big event. So first you'll kind of fight her on the ground. She'll kind of hang out over here and dash around and throw these little fireballs at you. From a combat point of view, this was definitely one of the most challenging parts of the game. Well, eventually she basically flies up in the air like this. So you as a player, you can't really do much from this distance. So hopefully you take note and you see these grapple points hanging around. And you can't stay on one for very long because she'll shoot you down. So what you basically got to do is you got to jump from each one to each and hit her in the middle, just like that. And eventually you'll get her to a little stunned state, whereas you can jump here and take her out. We've been working on this for a couple months now. We're starting to see how it's going to be and how fun it's going to be, and hopefully everybody else will think it's fun too.
You do not defy fate, Kratos!
This is our wireless technology, the Sony wireless controller. We actually just took a controller and cut off the cord. We use this for when we're planning out the button mapping in order to make the controls feel as efficient and as sort of thoughtless for the player as possible. It's natural in one sense because we're always using the L1 for a shift. Mm-hmm. So we just explain it in the shift mechanic of L1 plus R1. L1 and R2 is what Amulet of the Fates used to be. And it's a very awkward button combination for people, so now we've moved it to just R2. You turn it on, you turn it off, single button activation. And then we've taken the sub-weapons, which used to be just on R2, and we've turned that into an L1 plus R1 combination. The balance between the L1 and the face buttons being on opposite hands, I think really helps people to be able to use it as kind of a shift functionality. L1, so it's not that bad. This is the kind of stuff where we've been toiling over this for probably about 3 months. We've gone through so many different control schemes to maintain the really smooth, easy controls we had from the last game, but cram in 9 other features. We were already out of buttons from the last game, so it was very hard. Thank you, guys.